everybody, including your grandkids, will have boots on the ground. That's if they don't get. They have to settle it. They have to go to some kind of a peace accord. But this president doesn't want to give up the land they took. I've been to all that part of the Ukraine when I was there, and they still talk about the Soviet Union. Because when they were there, especially older people, we wanted. T.J. McCarty and I did a radio TV show, and we got call-ins. And the older people were calling in and wanted to know why they had to pay a light bill. Why won't the state put a new roof on their building? But that's what the Soviet Union was about. They took care of you. You know, it's socialism. Now look at Bernie Sanders, running around. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. But like I said, the Democrats have forgotten about Dunkin' Donuts and gone to
Starbucks.
And they go around and sit around with their white Merlot and we're superior. That's the East and West Coast.
What?
Then you go over the country in the middle. That's all red. The whole country's red, probably. Oh, I got a hat on. It's all red.
Tell me about it.
And that's my Aruba hat. But I firmly believe Trump will do what he has to do. But he's going to, and you saw it, even what's his name? That guy that's doing all the investigations with the
FBI?
No,
FBI?
The FBI. They want to do away with the FBI, and they want to do away with not FBI, but
CIA.
CIA, yeah. That's part of it. But they're not going to do that, and it's not going to happen. You know, and
Ned made you king. What would you do to fix it?
I don't know. That's why you're supposed to have people to help you. I have no idea what I'd do, because I never thought about it.
At least you're honest about it.
I don't know, and I don't know what to do about it. But I do know part of why they didn't get the wall any bigger was because the ranchers in Texas didn't want a fence, because they had the river for the cows and cattle. That's why it was stopped. They don't tell you that, but that's why it was stopped. There are some great people in the Republican Party, you know, and they've lost some. Look at all these people that went out there and endorsed Camilla, and now they got to go back there with their hat in their hand, or he'll tell them, as my father used to say, ST in your hat, you know. But I've always accepted whether win, they're the winner, you work with them, respect the office.
But you know the media and the people on the media, they're not going to stop fighting right now, not trying to get along.
Well,
I'm not saying Democrats now, I'm talking the media in general.
Oh, the media doesn't like it. Well, it's because of who owns all the media, and they don't like them.
They're never going to like Trump, ever.
Well,
That's it.
And
there's a lot of people happy right now, and guess what? In this state, when you live here, people around you are going to try to make you feel miserable because they know who I voted for. And guess what? You have to have tough skin. So what? That's what elections are all about.
That's what I said. I'm going to tell you. I have no problem. He's the president. He's elected. You respect it, and you take him. You know, and that's what it is. And I even said it last night. I said, in 4 years, if you want to, you go work for the other guy. And he can't run anyway because he only can do 10 years.
Right.
You know, this time, Tom, I went into a vote. Never did I ever take my ID out, but this year I did.
Yeah.
I gave them my license because they had this nice little machine.
I know.
It works fast.
Instantaneous.
Yeah.
Put it in the machine. They say, okay.
Yeah,
I did the same thing.
I did too.
Yeah.
I worked there, I know.
But there was only, like, the states that she won, they don't require ID.
Oh, yes, they do.
This state doesn't require one.
This state doesn't, but New Hampshire does.
You walk into the polls, I mean, I told you I gave them my ID. But I could walk in and vote just by saying Robert J. Hoey Jr. on 67th Stratham Street.
I understand that.
They can't shut me down. Well, I'm just saying, that's the state she won. She won states that they don't care if you have an ID or not.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
Because
What do you think
most
of that?
states have
What do you
IDs
think of
now.
them, not just because it's Trump, but in general, but changing that law that you can't serve 2 consecutive terms, but you could serve, say, let's just say.
No, you can't do more
No,
than,
I know you can't, but what do you think about the changing that law?
well, that was done by Roosevelt.
Yeah, but what do you think about them changing that way? No, you can't serve 2 terms, you can only serve 2 terms in a row, but you can serve, let's just say now Trump came back, he could serve another term.
Only one term, though, not.
No, that isn't my point. My point is changing the law to say, yes, you keep the law saying you could, if you serve 8 years, you're out. But if you lost and came back, you could serve another.
Another 8 years?
Yes. I don't know.
I don't know. I
Depending on the
understand
person,
that.
I mean, you know. So-
Hey, the guy's doing a good job. Of course, he's going to give a raise, a cut to all of the top 1%. We'll get that. That's not going to, it fades out next year, and it's not going to fade out, you know? But hey, they all have their own same ideas. They have they'll take care of their friends. They got 44,000 jobs to fill. Just 4,000 right around the White House.
Yeah.
But it's
Wow.
44,000 people through the U.S. government. I know guys that were working in Boston in an office, and Nixon come in, and those guys are out of an office the next day. And that was John Buckley, the mayor of Lawrence, and Tom
John,
Markham.
he had a big job in Boston, yeah.
Then they went to Boston to the ED one, and then Nixon fired them. But it's what it's all about, you know.
It always works.
yeah.
It's, you know.
It's the same thing. Let me tell you, you call up a counselor, mark my words, and you ask him for a favor. You know the first thing he does?
What?
Looks to see if you vote.
No,
They do.
he or she checks his war chest.
Yeah, but they also check that if you don't vote,
Oh,
what do
no.
I worry about, baby?
Times have changed, Ned. They check their
If you
war
haven't
chest.
voted and ever
Did
voted,
Ned
they're
give
not
me
going to
any
do
money?
nothing for you.
Did Ned give me any money? Ned's a good guy.
I give money to everybody.
Okay, then you're gonna get the ear.
No, I'm not. I'm waiting for. Now the next thing is coming up. Is
So before you
Oh,
know-
by the way, how's your Salvation Party go?
Good, yeah.
sell it out?
Yeah, a good crowd, good time,
Great
good food.
voting.
Great-
Great
great-
voting.
Lindsay's was superb.
Eric Ditcher just chimed in and said, "I've never checked anybody's."
Lindsay's superb food, as you know, we had it at Rodney's thing last year, the breakfast,
Yeah.
you were at that.
And we were down there for the year, man of the year for free.
Yep. So,
Watching
we-
views, Tom, right? Just for a second.
Yeah.
When I talk about
oh, yeah,
viewing the shows.
I've been checking that.
Without Ned around, Tom, we lost around 300 views.
That's all.
Well, when you're here and we get a guy like Lee get you, right, the other day.
Yeah.
we'll
Oh, he brings a big
getting
one.
close to 1,000 views.
He gets a
So
big.
we'll be last week was Cliff, this week will be us, because who you get as a guest.
I just want to say one thing before we go further. I want to send out my condolences to the Johnson family out in Drake. In fact, Barbara Johnson is a regular viewer here, and my work with her mother-in-law, Pat Johnson, who passed away over the weekend. Pat was 85 and one of
Richie
the
Green.
great employee for the town. Her son works for this. I know it's her daughter too, who worked in the engineering department. But Pat passed away over the weekend, and my condolences go out to the Johnson family. In fact, Paul Moran, who's on the regional school committee, that's her brother.
Oh.
Do you know Paul Moran?
Yeah.
In fact, he's been on here, I think.
#1 vote getter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
He
no.
beat everybody.
Rebecca bet everybody this year.
No. We're talking about. He was on the state.
With
regional school
and-
committee. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He
and
did.
so was Lee Gitshire.
Yeah.
Right, but
yeah.
I think
I found that interesting that Lee.
But Paul Moran beat everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, on
Good
the,
guy.
Paul's a well-liked guy.
on the school seat, but I'm pretty sure Karen Cassella got the most votes of anybody, around 25,
Oh.
26,000.
Yeah.
Aaron Cassella beat Lori Trahan.
Yeah.
You
I
know-
still say if Karen Cassella was, I know she wants to stay where she is, but she'd be a formidable candidate against Trahan.
I had
you know?
no problem. The first time in my life
You know who
that
I
I
would run
ever...
against her hand? Eric Gitshire.
Hold on, it's
You
funny
keep
you
saying it.
just said that,
You just
because
keep
I was
saying
just going to say, the first time in my life I ever wrote in a person's name, one with Laurie Trahan's name, I looked at that, and I wrote in Eric Gitcher underneath it. And Vanna Howard, I wrote Dave Nagel underneath her. That's how bad I was this year. I
Wow.
just couldn't vote for a Democrat. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I just couldn't.
Jay's basically a Democrat, but they don't like him.
Yeah, and what I seen happen, just with Karen Cassella's race, and she's coming in at 7, so I'll wait for her.
She did a great job.
Drake, it might not have remembered what you said about the new town manager, because the,
Sure, today we're going to be electing, it's on the agenda to elect a new town manager. There's a girl by the name of Kate Hodges and a guy by the name of Jason Silva who are the finalists. I was on the screening committee for that, for those choices. I don't know which way it's going to go. I watched their interviews last week, and they both did great. If I was voting, I tend to go with the Silva candidate. He's got some connections in Boston. He's very close to the lieutenant governor, and he came and I've talked to people in Dunstable, and they say he's great. They love him. They hate to see him go, in fact. And so I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but the selectmen will be voting.
you know what I think they'll be forced into, Tom? And Drake, it usually people call him cheap, is the pay, how much you're going to give. I would say it would have been a lower end, maybe.
Well,
100.
the range is 185 to 220.
Right.
So I
Not
think
bad.
you're going to have to go 220.
220.
I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care what they
I
say.
mean,
Yeah, I agree with
Why?
you.
Are they gonna back off? They don't get their cut?
I think so. I think so.
Okay, two texts, these are from Eric Getchier, City Councilor.
I just did that to get him going.
You wanna read these, Ned?
No.
Okay.
I've never checked to see if anyone votes. Can you imagine having the time to check if somebody voted? Ugh.
Well, especially him. I don't know
He
where
doesn't
he'd
have
find.
to worry about it.
First of all, I don't know where he finds the time, and there's no way he's getting, even though he's in great shape, no way he's getting 8 hours of sleep a day. Can't be.
And we just
Every time I call him, he's working.
and look,
Yeah.
it's mid-November. The elections are over, and right after January 1st, we're going to be talking about
That new council.
broadcasting
This is,
the city election.
before we had our technical problems, this came in early this morning. So, Tom, can you
It took
read?
Mitch McConnell less than a week to remind us why we don't trust the Republicans. He's brain dead. He's a brain dead moron who deserves zero respect from the American
Now,
people.
that is wrong to say things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but you know, that's a Democrat that
Now, how
wrote
do you
that.
know it is?
You, come on, please.
There's no name there. Mitch O'Connell, I'm standing there one day and he just went dead.
It's you know the kid that comes on. What's he from? Methuen? John Mitchell? Is that his name? What's the kid's name?
Oh, Curtis? John Curtis.
There was a post on Facebook, and he basically said he's not voting for Trump, but he wasn't voting for Camilla.
Good for him.
He said it, so I don't know what the way
A
he
lot of
went.
people didn't.
Hey, he might have wrote somebody in, whatever.
The
John-
woman did not come out as strong as they thought they were going to come either. They just stayed out of the race. They
Well,
didn't
those
wanna-
celeb- you-
they didn't want to
those-
vote for Camilla, and they didn't want to vote
those-
for Bob.
Those celebrities mean nothing to you. I don't care what you
Oh,
say. As we saw in the local elections, we talked about it, those endorsements mean absolutely nothing. You saw what Sakari got, you saw what Cameron got, you know?
Yeah, Karen Cassella had more people against her than other people had, coming out and, like Trump. Trump had very little money, half the money.
He did not. He had $997 million.
Well, I don't know about that. I think she had
Tommy, you
over.
want to take this one from Eileen Del Rossi?
Eileen DeRossi, great show. So nice to see you this morning, Ned.
Thank you.
How are you,
Yeah, I
Eileen?
think if you check, Ned.
They're
into
picking
that-
on me, Eileen. You better
No,
get
I'm
in
not
here.
picking on you. But I believe she
I know
had,
what he spent.
well, I think she had double his money.
No.
Okay. And John will find out the numbers of that, but I think she did.
What do you want, Bobby?
How much she spent on the
That's what I
presidential
heard. I
race?
don't know.
How much she spent on who?
The presidential race. I
$1 billion.
think,
That's how much Kamala spent.
how
But Ned
much?
said he spent $997 million.
No, I
That's
think-
the first I'm hearing of that.
I don't
Can
think so.
trust Ned?
But I trust, Ned's got good sources, so. you
That's
know.
all right.
I read and
We'll
listen.
go to Google and we'll ask Google.
Yeah. Hey, Google.
And we'll put Google
But
up on the
So
screen.
as I was saying, we're going to be talking about the city election right after the
Yeah,
first of the year.
yeah.
Here's Google. Here's
And don't
Google.
forget, 3
So
millionaires.
how much did Trump spend on his election?
Yeah,
How
I say
much
500,000.
Did
Oh, no.
No more.
Look at this.
There you go, first thing.
It's not listening to us, okay? Come on now. These computers are unbelievable. Summary of the data Trump Forbes. I'll try this guy. This ain't giving me any help. Okay.
Trump
Way
raised,
too much gobbledygook here.
No, Biden and
Harris
Harris.
campaign committee raised almost $1
900,
billion.
yeah,
Trump's
and Trump,
campaign,
388.
$388 billion.
I rest my case. And it's the same thing with
The
Cassella.
last quarter, he raised 388 million.
Well, Ned, I'm just reading what's there, so
Oh, January 23.
I gotta
To
go back to
October
Google. It
16th.
doesn't want to go backwards.
But look at the money that,
Stubborn
what's his
little
name,
sucker.
that owns, the spaceship and everything else. He gave what, 100 million? The woman in Las Vegas, she gave 100 million to Trump. And then the other guy gave him 300 million. And so what did I have no idea what Soros spent on.
Did you guys catch Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
I heard about it, I didn't see it.
oh, it was
Yeah.
funny.
It was funny, right? But Elon Musk is really mad at the way they portrayed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
I hope he buys that TV channel and cancels
He
it.
And
wants
it's
to-
owned by Comcast.
Uh,
It's owned by
He's
Comcast.
got enough money to buy Comcast,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
He paid what, 30 billion for,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I look at Facebook and the internet quite a bit, I say, during the week. Leon, is that how you pronounce
Elon, E-L-O-N, Elon.
Well, he's already invented a $7,000 mini home, all high-tech mini home, 7,000. His motorcycle that he just come out with is gorgeous, right? $1,000 motorcycle. I mean, come on, $1,000 motorcycle, $7,000 mini house. I don't know what this guy's gonna do. He's quite the guy.
he's building a train from LA to Vegas. Fast, like the bullet
He's
train.
got all these ideas. It's amazing, all these
Well,
ideas.
he
this man
hires
has.
the good people to do it.
You know.
What's the comedian's name?
I'll
Dave?
keep looking, guys. I'm gonna take it off, put you guys back on the screen. I'll
Yeah.
keep looking. This is giving me a lot of gobbledygook.
So who do you think, getting back, I said we'll be talking about the city elections right after the
Yeah.
first year. Who do you think's going to have opposition? Who do you think will have no opposition? Ned, do you have any ideas or thoughts on that?
I don't know, but nobody wants to run.
Well, first of all, I was
Well,
just gonna say
McDonough's
that.
running. Hoey's running.
No, it's, well, I'm not going to say I won't. If nobody comes out and challenges the two citywide candidates for the
Right.
schools, which is Connie Martin and Jackie Doherty, no doubt about it, I'll throw my name in there. I don't even have to raise money because I could care less.
Yeah.
I could care less.
You will
as
raise
long-
money. It
No,
won't
I
happen.
would have a few parties, right?
Yeah.
But I
How many
tried
people will
to.
give you money?
Well,
I'm just saying, I've won that seat 4 times, the school committee seat, and I'm telling you right now, they need people to come out. Look at what Corey Belanger had. See how many people came out? There was a list of people, and I know he's back in town. Steve Gendron, pretty nice guy. He
He's
had.
up in the Highlands now, isn't he?
I'm not sure where he's living, but I know he's in town. And when it comes to schools, that name Gendron really means a lot to me. I was on the school committee with him. He's the one that I think, he was the leader of our subcommittee when we went against the city about maintenance of effort. How much money the city takes out of schools to charge us to be in their 28 schools. That's how I feel. It's like a charge, and it's between something like 40 to 50 million. The issue is way bigger than I am, but maintenance of effort, it always goes away. And every now and then, someone like Jerry Nutter comes along, and Jackie Doherty will watch what we do. 2 subcommittees did the work. Just like the last election, the subcommittee of the neighborhood subcommittee that Rita Mercier is in charge of, that Eric Gitcher was on, and so wasn't Janess. One of the best subcommittees I've ever seen in my lifetime, because the ADU issue come out, big issue, and it made the election. That's why Eric Gitcher taught the ticket.
So there's a rumor going around, I don't know if it's true or not. Jackie Doherty's husband is a Jay Mason, right?
Yeah, Jay Mason.
Jay Mason's served on the Salvation Army Advisory Board with me. He recently resigned, and I'm hearing the reason he resigned was because they're moving to New Hampshire. Has anybody heard that rumor?
Well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's
That's
how
right.
I feel, so
Yeah.
don't ask me about
Oh,
that.
right.
I know that's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I was saying, I heard that rumor. Jay was 2 different people. Jay was a good member of the board of the Salvation Army. Did a lot of what's that word? Gratis work, whatever, advising us on
Yeah.
different things. He was an architect. But that's the rumor I heard. I don't know if anybody's heard the same
Here's
rumor.
I have not heard anything about that.
All right.
But on the local note, the whole community, Lowell, Dracut, Tewksbury, they've all got to look at their own soul and find it in their own soul to run for local office. Run for school committee, run for city council, And if you're 35, I don't care if you're 21, 21 to, we'll say 60. Please be in touch with us. We're happy to, happy to have you on the show and talk about your candidacy. Now, this is Donald Trump, how much he blew on his election. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is from a place called Open Secrets. Raised $381 million. Other people gave him $711 million.
It is over a million.
A
Billion.
total of
Billion.
you want to read that?
No. I'm
Are you
counting on
sure?
myself.
Are you sure? Okay. So, 1 million, over $1 billion, $1,092 million. Now we'll go over to Vice
Oh.
President Harris.
Oh, she's way up there.
You want to read this, Ned?
No, I'm talking
Okay.
under my breath.
No, you're not. So total raised she raised $1 billion. Outside groups, 649,000. So $1.5 billion, over $1.5 billion. So she outspent him by over $500 million.
Yeah, but and she spent a lot of that money giving like Oprah money, all those singers, imagine Eminem,
But no matter,
Eminem. Oh my God, that was ridiculous. That's campaign finance violation in my eyes. All that stuff was. It's terrible.
And
Well, they had a concert the night before the election. I'm hearing that some of the
anybody want me
vendors
to
are
reach,
afraid
you guys all happy now? We got
Yeah, thank
Dana,
you.
Becky.
Thank
that some of the vendors aren't going to get paid, so that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. She had a concert the night before the election, so,
I heard that too.
yeah.
You know, but when you mentioned local, Tom, I think,
Well, she's got 178 million cash on hand.
Well, I think I'm just thinking she's going to go get hired by a
Once
big
again-
law
What's the
firm.
Donald have cash on hand? Cash on, he's got 124 million cash on hand.
He
So,
needs to pay some legal bills. He's never going to even get sentenced anywhere. He's not, they will drop everything.
You think so? Yeah.
Well,
so
what-
she still has more cash on hand than he does in the campaign fund. According to an organization called Open Secrets.
The Obamas didn't have a good night. The Clintons didn't have a good night. Pelosi didn't have a good night.
No.
It was, and that was a good thing. I mean, just as far as, and again, Biden, the poor guy, what they did to him, like kicked him to the side. Kicked
Right,
him-
you know something? He would have made it a better race if he was in there.
Yeah.
I
I think he would have made it closer.
That's what I
I
mean,
think
that's
so.
what I'm saying.
I-
I'm not saying you'd win.
No, but he would have made it
yeah.
closer.
when Obama's wife started to talk about anything she does talk about, it's
Michelle Obama.
yeah. To me, she talks like with more hate than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I felt like I was hated by her. I'm a Catholic. I'm a white guy. She made me feel this was race war. That's how people went out and voted
I
in
never
my
heard her
eyes.
speak once. Where'd you
Well,
see her speak?
I
saw
heard
that.
her speak a couple of times,
She
and it's
spoke
always vulgar.
3 times.
Couple
Yeah.
of rallies, Sean, she was
He
at.
spoke
and-
at the National
know,
Convention.
And then did you hear the one about Trump and, not Trump, Obama like chastising black men for
Oh,
not
yeah.
voting for or backing him up? And what was that all about? I mean,
Well, that's it. They were working on that because they were losing the black men. We knew
but
it.
if that was the other way around, but
Oh, they'd
we'd be in trouble.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing it.
Yeah.
But he's a
That's
hell of
just-
a speaker.
You know, and the thing Trump did that made me feel good along the way in this campaign is when he took RFK in. He
Yeah.
just took the guy in because
Yeah.
his own family didn't even want the guy around.
No.
It was
Now you think he'll
terrible.
get a cabinet position?
I don't know. I don't think
He's going to
so.
run the EPA.
You think that'll be it? Yeah.
No, they already picked someone for that.
But Kennedy's getting the health thing. He's going
The
to,
health, and that's what health
Public
and
health. He's
EPA,
gonna run public
health.
Public health and
But the way his own family treated him to me was really bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't good to me
well,
anyways.
that's your true blue, wicked blue Democrat, where they
that's what I'm telling
they
you.
honor their political party over their religion and over
That's
their
right.
family.
Yeah,
and
the
they-
name in this state is always good, though. It always helps you to have a name Kennedy.
Yeah.
Just helps
Oh,
you.
yeah. Ed Kennedy be senator. He wouldn't be, if his name was Ed Tarmey or Ed Bomil, he wouldn't be senator now. You agree, Ned?
How many people
He
are
had that
waiting for
name.
his seat?
Oh,
Good,
line
how
them
many?
up, line them up.
And what rumor did I just hear? It was one of those stupid rumors you hear that he's not even gonna serve out his term. He's gonna serve a year, and they're gonna have a special election. They're all gonna get behind Vanna Howard.
That's
what-
Brian Martin's group.
That's what I heard. That's the rumor I heard this past
But,
week.
Well,
That's all.
wait,
These
wait,
rumors are stupid.
Wait a second. What's going on there?
Eddie Kennedy got reelected last Tuesday.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor this past week, and I can't remember the source, but that he is going to serve one more year in the Senate, get out, resign, special election,
Told
and
me
they're all
he'd
going to
never
get
do
behind
that.
Vanna Howard.
He told me
that
he'd
won't
never
happen.
do that.
Vanna Howard, nice
I don't
woman.
think he would either.
Nice
Well,
woman, but she has no power to push her ideas forward. She just takes whatever the State House gives her. She doesn't push for anything extra. And I just, not saying she's a bad woman, bad person at all. She's a fine gal.
Right, all right.
But she doesn't have the fighting skills needed down in the State House to get extra dough for up here.
That's why every election is definitely family and friends.
Oh, that's what truth, that's the
Family
truth.
and friends first, money third. I always felt that. Money's not that important in a city election.
It
Your
is
fr-
now.
Not really. Not really. Look at Cassella's race. Just look at her race. It's not about money.
How much
You
did she
have to
spend?
have, it's hard to do this. Listen, I have a large family. Half my family didn't even come out for me at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying is if you have family like Cassella had and friends, you don't need a lot of money.
No.
You really don't because
She did it on a
she had,
grassroots campaign. She did it with people, the regular people that
Yeah.
weren't the politicians.
in Lowell, she
I
had
mean-
this show. She had a get
Bobby, nobody worked harder for her than you. I'll
No,
say that.
sir, that's
Bobby,
false.
I know.
John-
As far as a
Thomas-
non-family member, you're probably the hardest worker for her.
I would
mean,
say her biggest asset was Eric Getcha. How he wrote
Wow.
some stuff. Well,
Now, no, I agree with you.
The
but
stuff
maybe
we-
in
Oh,
as far as
listen.
doing the getting up in the morning,
physical
those
stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But if you talk physical stuff, doesn't work against social media anymore.
And there's no truth
You
to the
know-
rumor that Bobby's going to be her assistant at the Registrar of Deeds. There's no truth to that.
No,
rumor.
no. Oh, I guarantee you one thing. Well, we're going to have her pretty soon.
Gotta find out who.
Oh, it's going to
maybe-
be awesome. She'll pick the right person.
I wouldn't
don't
be. I don't
forget-
know. I don't know. But I'm
Yeah,
thinking
so-
she'll pick somebody right from in her office. That's the type of person. She has some
She's
good.
going to
She has a
pick the
good
best.
staff there.
She's probably already offered the best person the job. You
Yeah.
wonder if they wanted to take it. But a pay raise is a pay raise as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Who's, and then who was that?
I don't know the name. You hear rumors that she already offered the job to the best person in there, and
It's the person
They
who works
might-
in the building already. I mean,
yeah,
that's what
and
I'm
they
thinking.
might not
I'm
want
thinking.
it. They might not want it. You don't know. Karen
'Cause-
might tell
'cause-
us today, but I doubt it. She'll wait till her day. When does she start her job?
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask her the question: where and when does she get
January
sworn in?
2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, that first.
The first Wednesday in the new year.
Yeah.
I drove by their house yesterday, actually, and her
You
husband
gotta
was in.
stop and think. Her husband was well connected with all the cops in all the towns,
Oh,
and it
yeah?
all worked well.
I think
You know,
you
the
He's-
right
and he's a
time, at the
gentleman.
right
When
place.
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
mentioned towns, if you look, she destroyed them everywhere, especially in Belvedere, and obviously, that's where you get a lot of votes. They vote. But the towns came to her too. And I think you're right, Ned, all her years,
I know
32
that-
years,
I know that's
dealing
what they
with
did.
all the lawyers and the people that go into the registry of deeds. Her personality and how hard she worked probably got her in. The experience factor.
Yeah. I mean,
And John,
Her husband
I
helped
remember
immensely.
hearing stories from attorneys telling me, why does she have opposition? She's the most qualified person. And nobody's going to be,
well, it's always about jobs.
Yeah.
John's right when he says that. Because the people that did, I couldn't believe who came out and endorsed Sakari Chow for that job. I couldn't believe the list. I wish I,
mean,
could tell you all the names.
Haley and Driscoll, who in their campaign,
Oh, I'm
promote
talking
women,
local.
no, I'm just saying
Yeah.
those two coming out. Promote women, and they go with Sakari. I mean, come on. It's
Yeah, I think more, it helps more when you get local senators, ex-senators, those type of people. Dick Howe Jr., who was he for? That's,
yeah. We
You
don't
know,
know.
and
We
you
don't
know, well,
either.
there was one
He was
person-
on a radio station. He didn't even mention her name. He mentioned Reddy and Sakari's name. He didn't even mention her name back in the summertime. Jerry never told me that story. So
Yeah, I hear you. I
Yeah.
just know when you have a large family and you have friends are huge.
she's
If
a
they
good
live in the
person.
city, friends are huge. Look, Corey Belanger is going to be in a tight race. He's going to have to
I was
work
just going to
hard.
ask you. Do you think Sakari
gonna
will
run
have
against
any?
him?
Who's going to run against him?
There'll be 3 or 4 candidates.
Oh, no, there'll be maybe 5.
Really?
Belvedere, yeah, they're already showing me that they'll have, and I'm hoping they show me the same thing for the schools. Because I'd love to be able to just sit on the show and watch the schools and
What
try to
name do
help
you
that
got
way.
going
Hey, Tommy,
over
you
there?
want to read
Just-
these? This one.
Eric G. should go for state senate first, then graduate to the federal level. After that, Trahan seat.
I agree, it's a hand seat.
Well, I don't know if you heard recently about the other Gitche not running for the Greater Lowell Technical High School
said it right
seat.
here.
Last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said, I'm 60 years
more
old,
years,
I want to
that's it.
relax. Well, I say everybody should push him just to run one more election, run citywide city council against your brother Eric.
Oh,
Ah,
I'd love to see that.
I hear
'Cause
mother and
both of
father
them-
moved back home.
I would say both of them would get in.
now where does Lee live? Do you know?
He lives in the Highlands, I think.
So he could run for like, against Sakari or somebody like that,
Yes, he-
right?
He could run citywide
Yeah,
Jack
and
Harris.
be one of the top two.
1 minute.
Right, right.
I think that's how hot, he's worked for it, though, the
Yeah.
Seven Gitches worked for it.
Congratulations,
Everything he
Karen.
Park on the couch if you want. We'll go to break now, kids.
All right.
Back. Thanks.
When do you get sworn in? The first Wednesday in?
did. Right, right. I think that's how hot, he's worked for it, though, the Seven Gitches worked for it.
Congratulations, Karen.
Park on the couch if you want. We'll go to break now, kids.
All right.
Back. Thanks.
When do you get sworn in? The first Wednesday in?
Right, right. I think that's how hot, he's worked for it, though, the Seven Gitches worked for it.
Congratulations, Karen.
Park on the couch if you want. We'll go to break now, kids.
All right.
Thanks.
When do you get sworn in? The first Wednesday in?
Right, right. I think that's how hot, he's worked for it, though, the Seven Gitches worked for it.
Congratulations, Karen.
Park on the couch if you want. We'll go to break now, kids.
All right.
Thanks.
When do you get sworn in? The first Wednesday in?
Right, right. I think that's how hot,
Sorry, I forgot to turn the music on. It's coming up at the
Sorry, that's good.
coming at the speed of government here.
Where's yours?
We'll go to break now, kids. Thanks.
When do you get sworn in? The first Wednesday in?
Morning, everybody, and welcome to the November 12th edition of City Life. And we're back on the air today, and belated Happy Veterans Day to all veterans out there. And with us this morning, we have our usual, my co-host, Bob Hoey, who is here. Ned Tarmey is back. He'll be hosting the show when I leave at 7:30. And Registrar of Deeds-elect Karen Cassella is here this morning.
Good
And
morning.
It's glad to see you. And we just want to put the rumor to rest. I did already that Bob Hoey is not going to be your assistant. Nobody, with the exception of
I'm
Jimmy,
not
works
looking
hard
for
for you
it.
than him. Nobody.
I know, I
That guy's
appreciate
relentless.
that.
So
I know, he was out every night.
you must be very happy. You must be ecstatic. I mean, you
am.
deserved it.
This is super exciting.
yeah.
Oh, the vote was amazing.
It was, and I owe that to the voters.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I didn't have the political backing
Exactly,
that,
exactly.
right, my opponents did, but I had the voters, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much if you're watching out there. I couldn't have done this without you.
So you said before the show started, you get sworn in on the first January, the first
It's always
Wednesday
the
in
first
January.
Wednesday in,
First
Right,
Wednesday in January,
so-
down at the State House, you said? Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
and I guess they're working on trying to get a judge because being a holiday.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, it's New
well,
Year's
it's the
Day?
first Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So
and
it-
that's New Year's Day. That's
Right,
Yeah.
so,
So they
it's-
won't put it off a day? They'll
No.
do it?
no,
okay.
that's written into the state constitution. The state constitution.
Yeah. I actually remember going down to a swearing in on January 1st when Phil Shea was down there.
Same thing
Yeah.
with Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah. Now, did I hear correctly that the Southern Register of Deeds is now a lady too?
she was all, yeah, Maria Curtatone.
She got
So
elected?
there was, yeah,
Yeah.
she had an opponent, and she won.
So she's a new one too, right? You both of you?
Nope,
Oh, she was been there?
yeah,
Oh,
she,
okay. thought
I
she
don't know
was-
how long she's been there, but
Okay.
it's been at least one term anyway.
Okay.
Maybe
I think
two.
she got one or two.
Yeah,
I
one or
don't remember
two.
who was
Hey,
there
Ned.
before.
On that law bit, I remember the city council didn't get sworn in on January 1st because nobody wants to work that day. What happened to the law that time?
They do it in the State
They
House.
changed it. They could I'm sure the council can change it. I'm sure the state can do it if
It
they
was the
want.
law, it was the law then
Yeah.
too.
Right,
The law says you get sworn on a certain day, oh, but we don't want to work that day.
I know. Well, as of right now, it is going to be that Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Rules for
States
me,
it.
not for me.
Council, the state,
Good old
the
state
state
chiefs.
reps, state senators, they all get sworn in. The governor doesn't get sworn in until, same time, not the same time as the president, but not a
No,
different
the
time.
governor's, she's not getting.
No, I'm
she's
just
already
saying,
there.
there was no governor.
All right.
Yeah, you mentioned my name, so I have to come back at that, Tom. I looked at that race this way. Number one, I always said her family, her husband, number one. I just met her son and her daughter, but the husband, Jim, is an
Aces. yeah.
incredible guy, and he has such a following, it's insane. I mean, I'm 70 years old, I'm a lot older than he is, and all his friends are my friends. That's how big his pool of friends are. But she had a guy like Eric Gitchia, one of the hottest guys in the city of Lowell. And I'd rather have him get credit than me any day of the week. All I do is physically hold a sign and wave at people. He put some stuff on Facebook for her that I thought was unbelievable, all along the race. Just talking about her
I mean,
knowledge.
push the mic away from you like it's
Just-
under your chin. That's
Yeah,
good, thank
just
you.
talking about her knowledge and experience on the job, 32 years. And I felt when I seen her votes come in for the towns, I just said, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think she'd destroy everybody in the towns also, but she did so good in the towns. It has to be the 32 years, I believe, that she has in that business and how many people she dealt with and you talk to and you deal with when you're in business. I've done it in my whole life. I was a roofer at one time. I owned variety stores with my dad, bar rooms, and we just knew a lot of people. And it helps. So I thought she won the election strictly on family first, and then friends like myself and Eric Getcher and people like that. And what a race. I'm the happiest guy in Lowell right now because it just went my way the first
Cassella
time.
and Trump won. You're happy, yeah?
Well, I am.
I have a story to tell about Karen.
Well, go ahead. I'd rather
Go ahead.
listen to you,
Ned.
buddy.
I was at Steve Panchatakis' Christmas party. Karen was there with Jimmy, and people were coming up to her all night long, you know, and Jim said she's going to run. Then Jim says to me, "Oh, I remember you," he says. "We were working a job, and you called into the police station, and I worked the job there. That's when I met him, you know."
Right.
But I watch. I sit around and watch people, and I watched more people come up to your husband and you that night. A lot of police officers from the towns were saying, "We're with you. You're with
Yeah.
you." You know, I saw it all,
I
and
know.
then you worked hard. You know, you worked hard for it. That's all that counts. You know, you remembered who they were, who your neighbors are. You know, who your friends are. Tip O'Neill. Don't ever forget to say hello to the people in your own town. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Well, his family's so big. His brothers have been firefighters.
Yep.
Jimmy being a cop. It's just, we're so involved in the community. And, you know, I met so many people, and that's really how I won, I believe. Like, just meeting every single night I worked at Alfresca, I was talking with people. The support of that whole entire restaurant, the owners, telling everyone, helping me post things, and it was amazing. And
great.
I love elections, you know
And I
what
do
else?
think,
And
I
it's a
learned,
case of where the girl was qualified. You know, you see all these politicians running for it, but she was actually qualified for the position. I mean, you know.
but people that I met,
Yeah.
I think once they meet you and you tell them your
Oh, yeah.
story, they really are like, okay, they're on board.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know
So-
what cranked me up for you was two things. Number one, the first time I worked for you was 2018, and you run against your boss. I brought that up so many times. Think about that.
Yeah.
Running against your boss. I said, I gotta help this girl out. And then what really turned me on during the election was, I felt, and this is just my opinion, Karen, she was running scared. Running scared.
That's the way to run. Always
After
run
you
scared.
have the leader of the
Yep.
schools, you know, Paul George's, and you have the governor, and you have the mayor of
Yeah.
Boston, you had everybody against you. You were running scared, and there's nothing better than a candidate running scared, because you do make everybody around you work harder.
Right.
That's right.
No, absolutely.
You have to
Once-
run scared. That's, Biden said the same thing. You know, if you know you're winning, you say you're
Run
running
like you're
scared.
losing.
You know,
So-
I've always been run scared, you know?
No, I know, I was definitely nervous
Oh, yeah.
with the backing of the politics.
Now tell us how you feel now.
I feel so good.
Oh, we're with you, Karen.
Right?
We had to keep it quiet.
Yeah, that's what they'll tell you.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and I know a lot about the Registry of Deeds more than most people, and I'll say this, it was Ed Early a long
Yeah.
time ago. Did you work for him too?
I certainly did, great
Didn't she
guy.
work for
Yeah.
Dick House, someone who knows a lot about how making computers do better and this and that? So she has the best of both worlds, because I was a big Ed Early fan, and I don't know how it was to work for him, but at that time, I think there was close to 30 employees, and
Right.
then near the end of it here, there's like approximately 10 employees. And that's another thing, it's a union, folks. So 429, I know you're listening out there, Jeff Thomas. Jeff Thomas came to bat for Karen Cassella, those type of things.
Yeah.
And I was
Those are
really,
the people that talk up all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Teamsters one, yeah, local
Teamsters,
170
yeah.
came out for me. Yep, all the police
Police union,
unions.
yeah, and Tony
Yeah.
Achinsky, who was big in the police union, was with
I
Shikari
know,
Chow.
I was
and-
disappointed
yeah.
with him,
Yeah.
but,
in Lowell, when you have the fire department with you, and she did.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
have the police department with
Yeah.
you, and she did. She had even prison guards, I can speak for that, she had those too. So that helps,
and I
that
met
helps.
people in Tewksbury, and then her husband was a firefighter, her son was and then they came in and I met them, and they were telling, it was just the connections. It kept-
Oh, yeah, it
The
is,
whole
yeah.
year, the connections I made were unbelievable. I would leave an event saying, this is just, you know, this is the year for Karen. It's going to happen. I know it is.
I'll
So-
give you the money. I'm not looking for a job, okay? But what I'm looking for is you to deliver a couple of turkey meals from Lakasha's for me. I'll give you the money. I heard they have them to go.
Oh, al fresca.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear
You're talking
that.
about the, yeah, I saw them
They have
online,
at the,
yeah.
at
They're
the
so
Good Times
good.
and Captain John's,
I
meals to go.
I was
for
embarrassed
Thanksgiving.
last night at Good Times. I used the rolls. I ate too many rolls. I'm a diabetic, but I used the roll to clean my plate. That's how good the turkey dinner
Oh, they
was.
had a turkey dinner at
They have it on the menu.
yeah.
Well, Lakasha's has it to go.
No, al fresca.
El
Fresco's,
Fresco's, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They have turkey dinners to go in
Yeah.
their
So,
store.
Have you been to that store, Bobby?
No,
out
I
there?
haven't,
Oh,
not yet.
It's
no.
quite, I'm talking
No, I
for
know.
Frisco Market. Oh, my God. Yeah.
I know.
So-
So Jimmy's mother has been home, so we've been bringing her meals. I go over there and grab her her favorite's chicken palm. Bring
Yeah.
her a dinner for the family.
You guys know Dickie Barrett.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
he owns Kilkenny's Pub. That's where I
Yeah.
go to get my political beat down. He's unbelievable to talk to.
Oh, it's funny.
Right?
Oh, yeah, he was worried more about you than anybody in my neighborhood, really, in District 3. The ones I talked to, he's like, we gotta work a little harder for her, we gotta do this for her, and he was right.
Bobby, does he still do the corned beef every 17th of the month?
Yep.
I think he tries to do that, yeah.
I think it's the 17th of every month he
7th of
does
every
it, I
month,
think,
yeah.
yeah.
I had a lunch there yesterday, we went to Good Times, because John Karen has a Monday night dinner club. Are you guys, are they open on Monday where
Yeah.
you work?
No.
No,
No.
No, that's
Why
why.
we don't go there.
That's
Right.
why, yeah, that's why we.
Well, you've made exceptions to the rule in the past, haven't you?
Somebody's got to pick it on that day. I'm a Monday.
You know, when I made the mistake and called it Lakasha's, that's not a bad thing. Does anybody know Lakasha's Bakery in Burlington?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's another place like where she works.
Hey, if you see Rebecca Judah today,
Well, we have-
it's her birthday. So
Happy
say-
birthday,
say-
Birthday,
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Thank you.
We have a sweet shop right next door as well now. So they have,
Oh, I didn't know
yeah, they
that.
have two Italian
What, in the whole
pastry
plaza now?
chefs, yeah. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
So they do the lobster tails, ricotta pie, homemade cakes. You can do now birthday cakes.
Now, on a Friday, said, you recommend reservations out there?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got a connection out there besides you, so
Oh,
my former
really?
work wife.
I love Shannon.
Shannon's the best.
My
Yeah.
buddy Ed Kennedy likes that
Yeah,
restaurant too. He
yeah.
goes there quite a bit.
Mark Trotman goes there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how's Mark doing?
Good.
Yeah, I heard he was
So I was
doing
with him
good.
last week for a bit.
Yeah.
In fact, he showed up to the breakfast, the Salvation Army breakfast. He was doing great. He's getting better. He has his days, but he said, so.
I have
think he
my
still has-
days too,
I think he
it's what
has-
happens.
You look fabulous.
Oh, I like to show you the picture when they brought me into the emergency room.
You should have
Yeah,
seen him
that's
last
awesome.
night at the Monday night dinner club. He
Was
looked
he?
like he looked like the lawyer Nyman down there. He was dressed in
Was he?
pajamas or something last night. I'm sorry.
I had blue jeans on
Okay,
last night.
all right.
I had a
You just
shirt.
look like Columbo.
Was he
to me.
chowing down? Was he chowing down last night?
Oh, I
Ned?
ate my, he was on the other
Because
table.
Ned likes to eat.
No, I don't, I can't eat too much.
One of
anymore.
our former
Ned, you look
employees
marvelous. That's
owns,
last
There's
night's
me
dinner.
last night. Now, what,
Is one of
where,
the
how do I
owners
look
of-
like
I'm
Phil
sorry,
Collins?
buddy.
Good Times,
I'm
one
just
of our
joking
former
with you.
Oh,
employees.
okay. That's right, that's right.
Yeah, Chia.
I knew her mother-in-law and sister-in-law, they worked in City Hall.
Oh, yeah, Betty and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Betty
worked
Ann.
in the retirement office, your grandmother, your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law, and then Betty Ann was veterans.
In veterans, yeah.
Yes.
One of the new owners of Good Times is a Lowell High School wrestler, ex-wrestler, Chia, and he came through your place.
He certainly did,
He,
yeah.
he got one of those special jobs, but that's okay. Those
I
days are
actually
over.
saw him at an event, and I said, Chia, you want to come back? And he said, hell no.
Yeah, he's.
So Karen, have you decided who your assistant's gonna be?
I'm working on it. So
All right.
it has to go through the powers to be, I guess,
you
with
work
the
under Bill
state.
Galvin,
So
right?
I have picked someone, I'm just waiting on a response.
They have to approve it?
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
that's what they say.
I haven't,
Okay.
So,
So next time,
next time,
Bill
yes.
Galvin runs it, right? He's a
Yeah,
big
he's,
boss.
Yeah.
he's like, he
Yeah.
runs them all, right?
The dark, what do
Which
they
is
call
weird.
him? The Dark Knight, what's the word they
The
use?
Prince of Darkness.
Prince of
Prince of
Darkness.
Darkness. He's been named.
Nobody
called
worked
that
harder for
years.
him than.
when he
than-
went to the suit store, he just got 4 suits, exactly the same thing, 4 ties. He always wears the same outfit.
Who?
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
My buddy worked for him. George Anthes worked down there
They
too.
all did. Shay did.
He would have been
Shay
happy.
was,
Meeting
Shay
did.
was one of his key supporters when he ran for office.
I told you about
statewide.
Frankie Muldoon, stopping the bus at my house, the corner of Humphrey and Methuen.
No.
Walked up to the front door and says, here's a ticket for, Phil Shea had to send, give this ticket. No, not Phil Shea, he was selling tickets for,
Bill
Galvin?
Galvin.
at the hotel. Stop the bus and come
Yeah.
up to my front stairs and ring the doorbell.
They know you're going to buy a
Right.
ticket. That's what it is.
But that was Frankie, I love Frankie, he was a good guy. Oh,
So,
all those
Karen,
parks he took
what
care
do you
of.
think you'll be able to, what would you be doing different than what Dick Howe was doing? A bit new
Well,
ideas, obviously, new.
Right,
new-
so I mean, obviously, people have been asking now that I'm elected that they want, are you putting the computers on? We're gonna open up the office.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We also have, we have a conference room. Nobody uses it. Sometimes we'll do Zoom meetings for the union meetings in there. But other than that, it's really never used. So I talked to the maintenance, and we might put up a petition that you can just pull over, and we can open that door and make it into a closing room for people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because we used to
That's
do
different, yeah.
closings, right, in the down at the old court, and now we don't. And people do them, they do them at like a table outside the concession stand.
Wow.
I've
But
seen people do
it'll be
that.
better off just to come into our office. If I set up, there's 3 large tables, but I'm gonna get
The
rid of
concession- You're
those.
talking about the new building, the concession stand on the first floor there?
They do, yeah, so some
Wow.
people will do closings right there, which
Wow.
it can be
Yeah, it's-
crowded
that's
in there
right,
with.
right, especially-
So
yeah.
this will give them some privacy, and if we could put at least 4 tables in there, I think
Mm-hmm.
we could fit that.
Mm.
So he wants me to order everything, and once I get sworn in, and then we'll go from there. So that will be something. And then, obviously, we want to do those seminars I was speaking of.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So a couple of people have already asked me about the, putting their property into trust. They're a little bit nervous, so I said, yeah, we can start that once I start.
We did it about right before the pandemic. We went to a nice seminar down in some restaurant. The lawyer paid for the whole thing. It's worth
Right,
every penny.
right.
It's
I
worth
think
every
that, yeah,
penny.
so
Yeah.
this we'll do at senior centers or.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and,
Yeah, in every
invite as
town.
many people as we can, and it's, just let everyone understand what it's about and how you can protect your property. So it's definitely, those are the things, and talking with the town about having them get Simplifile, so they
Okay.
can record documents from their offices rather than sending the homeowners over to us. The area, especially with everything going on at South Common, they're pushing them out of there, and they're like all over the streets on Appleton Street. They're knocking on your car windows.
Yeah.
So it's becoming, I feel it's a little bit dangerous down there.
Yeah.
So it would be nicer for the community to be able to just pay the city or town $105 and let them do the recording rather than send them down.
Yeah.
So,
You know, one thing I never asked you would be, how did you feel about the move from where you were on Gorham Street here to the new courthouse? When that happened,
Right.
how'd you feel about that?
well, I like the old place better. I think it was we were more of a
My
family.
wife liked her old place on Tisch
I
Creek
know.
on Her Street better.
Well,
She
because
always
we're
talks about
all,
that.
there's so
Yeah.
many people now in there.
Yeah.
Superior Court and then the Registry, that was it.
Yeah.
It was,
Now you have probate court, you have
Divorce
district
court,
you have
home court,
right up in that
juvenile,
building. Juvenile.
everything,
Yeah.
so.
District.
7
Yeah.
floors, is it 7 floors?
Yeah, 7, so, and leaving from 360 Gorham to 370 Jackson, it's a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
It's cost every employee $130 because
Oh.
we have to pay for parking.
Yeah.
So that's a bit much. I
Right.
mean, we've tried to negotiate that with the union. They will not budge, they will not help. But I do feel now where the city, so if you buy Dunkin' Donuts on Fletcher Street on the side of it, there's about 8 tents. They're all living over there. There's needles everywhere.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? The city should be offering the employees over at that courthouse a discount on the garages
Well, I
so we
heard-
can be park in a safe area.
Did you hear anything about Sal doing something like that for the courthouse people, giving some type of discount? I
No.
had heard that rumor.
Oh,
Sal owns
really?
the one right in front of you.
Well, I better
I had heard that
reach
rumor.
out
Did
because
you know
I
him?
feel.
Maybe you should, because I heard he was, obviously not for nothing, but a discount as far
Well,
as
no one's
discounted
looking,
rate.
I know, we
Yeah.
understand you can't do it
See
for
if you
free.
should look into that.
But
I
I
heard
do
that rumor.
think,
Don't worry
especially to
about
make
one
it.
thing. Eric Gitche is watching. Everything she says, he's listening, believe me.
Well, actually, the court,
I'm just saying-
Sal's parking lot's
Well,
closer.
I have to tell you, the girls that park over by that Dunkin' Donuts, I always say, take pictures. There's needles everywhere. They're fighting. These are not
And you
people.
also have the parking where you pay for Durkin's too, because I know some of the people. at
Yeah,
District
some
Court
people
paid
pay
at
there, yeah.
Durkin's
That's so
parking
funny.
lot.
The
Yeah.
minute they knew we were moving,
Oh,
they
yeah.
started, it was $60 a spot.
Yeah.
And then when they knew everyone was calling, it went to 100.
Yeah.
So I think
I
it is,
remember my wife got the call, if she was on the $60 thing, and and they kept it like that. And then when they went up, she said, nope, I'm all set. She said, heck with
Right.
it, so.
You know, I spent many times walking railroad tracks and going through homeless camps over the past, I don't know, 5 years maybe. I haven't been doing it recently. I even took the birthday girl, Rebecca Duda, for a tour right through the center of one of the homeless camps that are along the river, the Pawtucket Boulevard, on this side, near the
Up near
South Campus.
Burbick's,
That's-
the old
Yeah,
Burbick's, yeah. Oh, I've
and
seen that, walk up
her-
there.
I
You
walked
can
her
see,
through
you can
that.
see, you can see.
If you go out the back door of my house and I take a left and go, and I'm right next to the railroad tracks, I go up this way and there's a guy that's been on there about 10 years from divorce. That's what got him out there. And he was
Wow.
from Belvedere at one time and he's living behind the cement, McCullens, is it, the cement company?
Yeah.
Right behind there, and he builds himself a really strong house to live in. And I've talked to all these people. And those people really, they don't bother me there. They're in a good spot. Like along the river, I know it's not pretty to see from the other side of the river, looking over and you see all the blue tents, but at least they're more organized, you know?
well, the
This-
garbage though, Bob.
Yeah,
Have
but-
you seen
right.
it?
Oh, no,
It's
I seen it, but
just-
around
I
the
just
South
went-
Common, and I'll
Right.
be done in a second. The thing that bothers me the most is how many children are held hostage. They can't come out of their house. There's a lot of children just in that school alone.
Bob, you told us a story about the pool earlier. Right,
Yeah,
this summer.
Yeah,
Wow.
2 people in the pool with 4 lifeguards,
Wow.
because people that live in this general area, and believe me, I went to the Rogers School 4 times in my life, because you bounce around because of divorce, whatever. But public schools, you get a lot of children that don't live in this area, but a lot of them do. And believe me, they can't go over to the park like I used to. I played baseball in that park so many times, I think I did it more than Chambers Field down, and that's my home field. South Common meant a lot to a lot of children, and it still does, but they're in their windows looking out of their
Right.
homes.
I used to walk that
Yeah.
track all the time. Good, now I won't go near that place. You know,
Yeah, I'm so
there's a lot
glad-
of people.
Well, didn't they just do all the renovations?
Yes,
within-
yes.
Yeah.
Field,
It's
they put
amazing,
in a
right.
$300,000 field in there.
Cameron,
And that was thanks to Dan Rook, I think, got
Dan
that
Rook,
initiative, yeah.
For the-
Cameron brought up how bad, and one last thing about homelessness, it's going to be a big issue tonight in the city council. There's no doubt about it. There's a group of people that will come down and load that because of an ordinance that Eric Gitchie wrote about tents and how far they have to be away from a school. One of the biggest issues I've seen in a while, and there's been some big ones in Lowell, but this, after hearing you too, I didn't know about the Dunkin' Donuts and
Oh, it's
around the
terrible.
courthouse, people bothering you. The issue's out of control, and this city council and the mayor, I think they have a big job tonight. That's all I'm going to say. Watch it at 6:30.
Yes, that's,
Right?
Well, no,
yeah.
I'd say furthermore, Bob, now
Yeah.
is the time for everybody in the audience to consider, when you're playing on your computer later on, go on the City of Lowell's website, write a city councilor, write every single one of them, and tell them your feelings about the people living on the common. And in the subject line, put down, send everybody to the common, or get everybody off the common.
Yeah.
And the rubber hits the road tonight. We have a lot of people, misguided as they might be, advocating for these people to live outside the wintertime. And sadly, I've picked up more than a dozen in my lifetime that are frozen to death. And it's
Pretty.
it's just not right. We treat the homeless, the unhoused, whatever you want to call these people who live outside, worse than our animals. And they don't know to come in out of the rain. And they've burnt out their own particular family, whether it was through you sold Ma's diamond ring to buy more heroin, or I was just pain in the neck being around the house, but eventually I burnt out my family. I don't know how to manage my money. I'm on welfare. I got my EBT card. I got my Mass Health card. The government's subsidizing this, and it's never gonna go away. When Eileen Dunham was around, we probably had 100 homeless. Now, some people tell me there's 300 homeless in the city. So, as the local administration does right now, they herd the homeless to the South Common. Other communities around Lowell in southern New Hampshire herd their homeless to Lowell. So this is an opportunity to make all this go away. Why is it happening now? It took the Supreme Court to make a decision that it's up to a community to decide if you can live on public property. Well, they could have done it a year ago. No, they couldn't, because we didn't want to give one of these characters $1 million or $5 million in a fine because we couldn't kick them off the common. Now we can kick them off public property, and we have places for them to go. Mayor Danny Rourke has emphasized more than once that we ask these people, look, we got a place for you to go. Get on the bus, we'll bring you to a better place. Not for me, man. So it's time. I'm off the soapbox. Thank you, kids.
Oh, but
Send your email.
That's how big that issue is. And Lowell, Tom, your Salvation Army, what is it, 250,000 a year?
Yeah,
They
we raised
raise
it last year.
A city
We'll
like
probably
Lowell.
raise it again this year, but Bobby, so this is going to get them off the common, so where do they go from the common? Like Karen said, they're going to be on Appleton Street, they're going to be on down near the courthouse, they're going to be, they go sub-tents near the courthouse.
With the traffic,
Yeah.
that
They're
is,
going to get on the bus and get some help. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have
when
to
there's a big line of traffic, they're going to get killed. They're in the middle of the traffic, knocking on your windows.
Yeah, over the overpass
There-
down on Prescott Street, I've seen them in the middle of the
Yeah.
street.
And then if you look, I walk during my lunch hour, and in any vacant buildings and the door openings, there's food, there's garbage everywhere.
Yeah, they don't pick
The
it up.
city's getting destroyed, and it's
they-
not just,
And also, make sure you lock your doors when you start driving, because my car automatically locks. I don't know about your car.
Right.
But I've heard a story last week of a hooker jumped into a guy's car.
Oh.
And because the car didn't have the automatic door lock, and it's just...
well, if you
so-
go by Jay's Variety over here,
Oh.
oh my goodness.
There's always a cruiser in that parking lot,
Right.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
they were all lined up, because when it's warmer, they're all sitting against the building, and they're fighting with each other. I mean, they're not people that have lost their jobs that are homeless. These
Yeah.
are people that have mental illness.
That's what it
Exactly, and that's what you feel
Drug
bad, yeah,
addiction,
yeah.
alcoholism, they need help.
Yeah. I
And-
mean, did you hear the story? There was a story about the Keep a couple weeks ago in the paper, how they had people getting accosted going into their restaurant, with the old Ricardo's.
Mm-hmm. Right,
And,
right.
and that guy came before them, and it seems, deaf ears, I think. It's going.
I don't know how you can fix this problem,
Right.
but if we don't start doing something now, there's a problem.
That's
We're
why-
just, it's
that-
going to get really bad.
That's why I think where the city council's going with it tonight is to make sure children are safe.
Right.
There's so many that live around it, and that school alone, that's why, they're finding stuff in the school property,
Mm-hmm.
hypodermic needles. I
The
found them
city
many
had a guy
times.
picking up hypodermic
Right.
needles. Does it work anymore for the city?
I don't know, they had that, I don't know if
Yeah,
he
I
worked for
think
the
it-
health department, I remember
All
that
right,
guy,
yeah,
yeah.
he still
he
did.
probably does, I don't know.
I gotta get out of here in
read-
15 seconds, Ed. You ready to take over? You gonna stay right there and?
Yeah, he told me to stay
Yeah.
here.
Nice seeing you.
All right,
Nice
nice to see
guy.
you, all right,
Yeah. Bobby, I'll see you
absolutely.
next
See you
week.
next
You'll be
week,
here
Tom.
next week, Ned?
Yeah, I plan
You
on it,
back regular?
depending on my health.
Let's watch the views today we have, Bobby.
Right,
Well, all I know is we were going to ask her, I know what, I was going to ask her a couple other questions, but she already mentioned it.
Okay.
Because to me, it's, like a little school system, when they hired Dan, and I like to say it this way, when Dan Rourke hired Liam Skinner, it showed that roughly 2,000 employees we have in the school system, maybe 1,200 teachers, 400 paras. It equals almost 2,000, maybe a little
3,000.
more. Okay. And now they feel there's a career ladder. There's a career ladder. I can be a principal at a school, run a school great for 10 years, and maybe I can become superintendent of schools and make $250,000 a year. To me, that's a beautiful thing. You want a career ladder, and I think that's what she's going to bring to the small amount of people that work for her, but they're going to feel better about themselves and better about the job. That's how I feel about the whole
right,
thing.
oh, no, absolutely.
I don't really care. As long as the person that thought he had number 2 job doesn't have it, I'm happy. That's all I'll say. I won't say names.
Right,
But congratulations to you over and over.
thank you, I know.
I really feel good for your husband because he has to feel like, wow.
He worked hard.
Oh,
He did
worked
work hard.
I never realized how
I
many.
saw him working the party at Steve Panchatakis.
Everyone was saying how they saw him on every corner,
Yeah,
in every town he was there.
he's a good guy.
Well, the
He is
same
a
thing
good
with,
guy.
like, when you.
And you're married to him, too.
But when you go around, and I've done it myself, feeding different schools, like you got 28 schools here, he had to go to how many different towns, feed everybody, and the mileage that he's putting on his vehicle. I mean, I would have been talking to myself, to be honest with you. That's a lot of work.
Right.
The satellite offices that we talked about in the
Yes.
past, do you have to go, right now, to hire your assistant, you gotta go to, the big guy? What's the big guy's name?
Galvin.
Bill Galvin.
You gotta go to Bill Galvin and say, hey, can I hire this person? So, to open a satellite office, same process? Where you gonna?
I don't know if I
Where
have-
where does the money come from to go and rent a building and some space and?
Right, well,
So
you would
parking-
probably look for a state building.
Yeah.
Something that's owned by the state. But, I mean, honestly, so we could still have a satellite office right in our office. All we have to do is set up a computer with a scanner, and because you can do e-file, so we could have, if someone showed up to our registry that was from Littleton and they couldn't record, as long as we have that computer up and running for that satellite computer for the South, we can help them record that. So, I mean, there are a lot of different options that we can do. I mean, we could definitely,
So that said, why can't I do it from my lawyer's office?
you can.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can. But if a homeowner, they're not going to pay an attorney to record, right?
Well, how, can I do it from my own home?
Yep. So we don't, you would have to get the software. I don't know. Essex South has a program where homeowners can record. So I'm not sure what they're doing, but we don't do that in Middlesex North. It's something I'm going to look into, but we used to, years back, we had a satellite office, and it really, once real estate does pick up, it helps the attorneys be able to record if you're in Hudson, Mass, and you have a closing in Lowell, Mass. Now you can do both right at the courthouse if I open up that office. So it will help a lot of people to have a computer that you can record from other different districts.
Beautiful, thank you.
See, I think there's going to be an explosion in ADUs and people putting things on their property. Would that affect the registry of deeds? I don't think so, right?
Well, it will be.
Someone put a
well,
mini home.
They're going to have to record a permit, right?
Yeah.
So those are recorded with us. And then conservation, you'll have to record if it's if there's any water, conservation issues, you'd have to record that. So that would be where if this is going to pick up, it's something that the town should want to have simplify to help these homeowners not have to come into the
Make it
registry.
like a one step, do it all right there at the
Right.
town.
And it would make sense. I mean, they have to pay for it no matter
Yeah.
what, so why not just pay the town
Yeah.
and let the town deal with us? So, but, oh yeah, I can imagine with the ADUs.
No, I'm glad you told me that you felt like you would have wanted to stay over here at Gorham Street.
I loved Gorham Street. We were like a family, because everyone knew each other. It was the same people every day. Now, being in the big courthouse, we're totally, no one sees anyone. We do here and there. Everyone comes in, once in a while to say hi, but unless you're out and about moving around, we don't see the people we used to see.
I didn't expect that answer off you, to be honest with you. I thought you'd say, I'd rather be in the new courthouse because
Well-
I feel safer because my husband's in the same building as me. That's what I thought you were going to say to me, but I'm glad you said
No,
that
I do.
about
I like
Gorham Street.
I like the old building. Well, it was free parking. These poor employees, right? They have to pay another $130 out of their paycheck just to move a quarter of a mile. So,
Well, the unions and the city should work together with that and have.
I think so,
city-
too.
I think the city should pay for it.
and not even pay, but give a discount to
Well,
any of the garages.
The discounts
That
we used to
Hamilton-
have gone up. The
Well, that-
Hamilton's half empty, right?
That's what they're saying. So they should be offering that to the employees over at the court just to get us to park over there rather than park next door to the courthouse.
Yeah, I think
Right?
my name has paid about maybe $700 in the past year on tickets. Then my daughter gets, and she's a nurse visiting schools,
Right.
special ed stuff.
Well, if she's
And I
after,
tell-
she should get a thing that
Let
gives
me
her
tell you something, we tried everything, no.
She didn't get a card to put
Well,
on
the
window?
community health,
And what do you, Ned, you want to read this?
Don't expect the State House to do anything about the homeless problem. They're more concerned with protecting criminal illegal aliens. Hopefully, Maura Healy is the next person to be fired by the people.
Yeah, that's why I'm so proud of the city, because of what we're doing. We're a giving city, believe me, that's why they come here. I have a sister that's into nonprofits. She's gonna, their Project Compass, they're ready to get their third house. He'll be on the show. The person that has the money man, I call him, the one for, he buys homes and has people, women that are 18 to 24 with children, and they need a place, and that's what they're doing. So, and CTI does this and that, and all these places. I mean, it's incredible how much we give in Lowell. I've seen people from Boston, when I used to drive Uber, go, oh yeah, Lowell, we know Lowell, Lowell's a good place.
Bobby, read this. This is from Patty Kerwin, Kelty.
All right, I am so happy to see Ned Tarmey. I've been waiting for his return. God bless him, welcome back, wishing you good health. Now, there's one Democrat to another Democrat.
Thank you very much.
Hey, and I love her, she's an awesome person,
Patty
yeah.
Coulter, yeah.
Yeah, and,
I think though, I mean, we're not trying to hurt anyone. I think what they keep giving, right? So you keep giving them free tents, free food stamps. They need a program. They need help. So we're not trying to pull them from getting, anything from
Yeah.
these services. We're trying to help them. They need to be put somewhere and take those services and go to the next level with it. And it's really with their mental health.
That's right.
It's not, or their drug addiction, and both actually play a part.
Right.
So, again, I have someone close to home that is in this situation, and we've tried, our family has tried and tried and tried, and
Yeah.
I know it firsthand. What we do, he eats well, put it that way. He eats well, but he needs more than that, and he has rights. So until we get rid of this patient rights, he shouldn't have these rights because he's not thinking clearly. But we can't do anything about it. So we just keep giving, and they're never going to get, they have a great life ahead of them if they would just, someone could get, turn that switch on for them.
So Karen, you're the number one vote getter in the past election. You got more votes than Lori Trahan. And rumors start. What is your future look? I mean, now that you know of your success, that you beat everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Mary, you got more votes than them, do you have any aspirations for anything else?
Not in the political world.
Okay.
No.
You have a wedding coming up,
I
don't
ran
you?
for the registry because I knew the job, and that's really why from being in customer service so long and watching people walk out frustrated, it killed me. So I said, when it was time, I'm going to run against my boss and give him a little, pressure, put some pressure on that summer. And it didn't work out, but it's still something I wanted to do. And it still goes on, So you see it daily when people come in, the things that are not being done and how we can make a few changes and help
Well,
them.
there's a lot to do with prep work with anything. Like, we use this video to teach people how to be a pallbearer. And it's been viewed like, who cares, a ton of times. And it teaches you everything from carrying a piece of flowers to if you fall down while you're carrying the casket, teaches you all that stuff. And it's a nice little video. I think that you guys should consider, say, look, before you go down the registry, watch these videos. Because, you go on to, I didn't know I had to bring proof. So silly little things that I get all the way down there for that could
Right.
be just something you might think about. Thanks.
Well,
YouTube's helpful.
we only accept cash or check. So not a lot of people are carrying $105 cash or checks. So they usually have their debit card. So Lowell 5, thank goodness, put a ATM outside by the garage. So
I see that, yeah.
Yeah. So
Are they using it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before that, we have to send them home to get money or down to the Washington Savings Bank, which was actually.
Now, why doesn't Galvin let you take a credit card?
I have no idea.
Because he misses the 2% that he's going to get?
I don't
I mean,
know.
that's my guess. So now, when you get his ear, I'd like you to ask him that question. Why don't we take credit cards?
I
'Cause
know.
you can use your credit card to get your driver's license.
Right. Absolutely.
So the state does do it.
Yeah.
Where there's a surcharge, okay, so it's $105, so it's going to be $120. Just put the price up to $120. The state needs the money. There's no guessing about it. So they're going to take the money. They're going to miss that 2% the bank grabs. Every time you use your credit card,
Right.
the bank gets at least a 2% commission off of that.
Right. Right.
Sometimes as high as 6%. And every bank does that. So just when you get his ear, I'd be interested to hear what it is.
I will let you know.
Thank you.
It's all about fees. You look at the airlines, $5 billion they made this quarter on luggage and checking in and everything, fees.
Did you
just
see their
fees.
expenses?
Huh?
Did you see their expenses? I get a kick out of these government employees. I love them. Money grows on trees. Let's look at the expenses. The city of Lowell manages to power piss through all the federal funds that come through here and all our tax money. We have a higher tax rate than Drake. With all the federal subsidies we have, we've managed to blow all that dough. With all the money, we blew it. We continue to blow it. I'm done.
I don't know. It's hard, it's a hard.
Well, I'm glad they shot down the magic mushroom question. I was nervous about
Oh,
that. I'm like, that's
oh.
all we need.
The guy that beat me up was on mushrooms.
Oh, I bet.
And he told the cops he got a bad bag.
Oh,
But with the 18th of the month.
If you go out to the Bureau of House of Correction, everyone you talk to will say, it wasn't my fault, I didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Nobody's guilty. Nobody's guilty.
I didn't do it.
Even guys that go to the electric chair, I didn't do it. You know?
I know, to me, and Cameron, when Cameron was talking, I have the same thing. I know I have I had someone in my family that was addicted to cocaine. And he got saved by a judge. A judge in Lowell saved my son's life. I'll be saying that to the day I die. Why? Because he basically locked him up for 1 year with an ankle bracelet on. He couldn't leave a house down in Quincy, and he finally got straight in life.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Lowell, I don't buy the mental health thing being number one, but it is all mental health. Even being an alcoholic or a drug addict, all that. How about gambling? How about divorce? You don't think divorce affects homelessness? It's huge. All you have to do is keep going through those places and stop and talk. I actually broke bread with a guy living under the Roger Street Bridge. He had a fire going, he was cooking pork sausages. My wife would have killed me for trying some of his food, but I did, because he was talking to me. And I was just trying to get, what it is. You need, the court system, number one, is the biggest thing we need to improve. It's broken. There's no doubt about it. I can get into so many different issues, I won't, but in Lowell, it is a big drug problem, in my opinion. Alcohol's close, but drugs are number one in Lowell. That's why they come to Lowell. They've been coming to Lowell for years.
They give them passes.
Lawrence
Mass cash.
gets the big loads dumped on them, and then they distribute it all the way up to Maine and New Hampshire, but don't think Lowell's not their first stop. Lowell has a big drug problem. The cops have proved it many, many times, and if they keep going and go after the drug dealers, don't go after the drug users. But to me, that's where it has to happen, when they break the law. A judge from Lowell, I love that. We should elect our judges, by the way, that know our city, that knows, oh yeah, we know this. And that's all I can say. God saved my wife just recently, hospitals, down in Boston. They saved my wife, and my son was saved by a lawyer. And that happened a few years back, but he's never been doing so good. And that's what it is. They can't get the help. They need to be forced,
right.
basically, to get
Exactly.
the help. And that's where the problem's going to lie. You can't force them. But to me, if it's 20 below zero and they're out wrapped up in a piece of plastic, that should be enough for the police to pick them up and
Put them
put
in the
them
cell for the night.
If you have to, you have to. I've seen them come to prison in my 20-year career. You think they're ready to die. 90 days, we bring them back. We bring them back. The human body, I'm telling you, can take some severe abuse. If you ever seen what I ate in my life, you'd say, how is he alive? I mean it. I ate a lot of trash. Fake squares and donuts and cupcakes and candy. I'm just addicted to it. Doesn't put me out in the
It's
street
yummy.
yet.
Well, over by the Humane Society,
Yeah.
there's there's tents. They were doing fires over the weekend. Have you ever been over there, Bob?
Yeah.
I know where it is, yeah, too.
But
See,
the
there's so
only
many
thing is,
hidden ones, though. I wish
the
folks...
garbage is,
They don't pick it up.
when I walked by, I didn't see, I saw the people down there, but the garbage that's left there, it was just
Ridiculous, yeah.
unreal. And then that poor, person who's in charge of the garbage in the city, it's overwhelming.
You wouldn't believe what it's like to own a car wash in Lowell. You should see the trash that's dumped in car washes.
Really?
I have a friend that owns one. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
They vacuum the cars and throw it in the barrels.
You'd be surprised what they find in their trash barrels. Things you can't throw away, like toxic materials. Yeah, and if you go to the campsites that are hidden, and anybody ever wants to go, I'll bring anybody. I can bring you to them and walk through. They're not that bad in those they live like in a city, a little town.
They have their own little
But the South Common's ridiculous. I mean, really, think about just the South Common right now, because to me, the other people are not bothering nobody. The ones near my house, the ones behind the Mullis's at Stadium Plaza, right behind it, there was always a homeless camp there.
Oh, Bobby, you gotta ask yourself, so when one of them freezes to death,
Yeah,
and we pull out their ID and 2 EBT cards bounce out of their pocket, why did we subsidize this? You have to ask yourself, why do we continue to subsidize? This poor guy who's living outside shouldn't be.
yeah.
And if they, well, when they fill out that application, right, for the EBT card, or they should have then they should have to go back
Well,
to.
Karen, another big mistake that we make is we always say they. We as the taxpayer have to insist that our city councilors take the first big stake in this and kick them off public property. The city council, furthermore, has to grab Lori Trahan, Elizabeth Warren, and ask them to come to a Zoom meeting. And we have to restrict these people's rights for 60 days at a time. Put Tufts in charge of it. Take the government out of it altogether. Put Tufts in charge of it. Every 60 days, an independent board has to decide if we're going to let you out of our custody or not.
Right.
Just like you're going for parole. If you're not mentally able enough to come in out of the rain, come in out of the snow, we've got to put you in protective custody. That's why protective custody is, where are we going to put these people? Tufts already owns a building right next to St. John's Hospital, St. John's Nursing School, plenty of room in there.
Who, they bought that, Tufts?
They already own it.
Oh, they already own it.
How many times have you heard the mayor, Danny Rourke, say they don't want help? You can't give them help, even
Well,
family
I know
members.
they don't want it, but they're getting EBT cards. So then they sell that EBT card, that money, for their beer. That's how they're
Yeah.
getting the beer. So,
That's been going on for
right, I know.
years, yeah.
But those are the things, those little changes could help someone. I don't know. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, and
Ask Cliff Krager when he
remember
used to go out
talking-
and do the counting on the homeless and try to get the people to go inside and they wouldn't go. Cliff was on one of the homeless board and they went out once a year and did a survey. He'll tell you all the
yeah,
stories.
this will sound rude, but in my career at being a prison guard, I can tell you this, incarceration does work.
It does.
It works for some people. You know what I mean? When
How does
someone's
learn?
well, when someone's done half their life in jail, if they're 35 years old and they've done 18 years behind bars, your chances of rehabilitating that person is zippo. It's not going to happen. You got to catch them way before that. And then when they have a drug issue, it's more up to the family, and it's hard for a family. It's very hard to put your kids somewhere and lock them up. But I'm telling you, it works. It works. And I just like I said, I'm going to work as hard as I can for education in Lowell schools, make it safe for them. They're trying to do that. I mean, we've renovated and fixed a lot of schools in the past few years, 2-3 years. Don't go back 20, because we never maintained anything. Recent city councilors and mayors, have done a pretty good job, and now this is where meets the road? Right now, this issue tonight, to me, is really that big. It's that big to have, and they're gonna be bombarded with people against this ordinance. That's why I'm
Who
going
put the
down.
ordinance in?
Eric Gitcha, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure about
The
who.
law department has to write it.
No, yeah, he told him to write it. He said
He
to
had
the
a
city
motion to
manager,
pass.
he said to the city manager, they all did, write up a good ordinance and bring it back to us, and that's what tonight is. It should be about as good as you
Who
can
is our
get.
solicitor
Right.
now, anyway?
I don't know, but I'm just glad it ain't the other one.
Oh.
That's all. We're doing okay there too. But it's all about keeping the kids first. That's who gets it first, safety, children. And this should be a no-brainer over here tonight, South Common.
Right.
Because I'm just really fed up with the kids being held hostage. That's what I might say tonight, something like that. Because the children in this general area, that's what's happening to them. And we got to do something now, finally. So I'm glad.
Front page of today's Sun. This is going to have their tail between their legs. The Attorney General, Massachusetts, has found more violations in Lowell meetings about the open meeting law, both on the school committee side and the city council side. This is gonna have their tail between their legs, and it should not be. It's a silly thing that they're chasing them on. No one's gonna get fired. They'll just get a finger waggling, and that's all gonna happen out of this. I'll be interested to read this article later on by
Well,
Mahoney Gilbert. Thanks.
the AG should send a thing to the, it's his office. Yeah, and then bring whoever's in charge and have an investigation and,
There's no penalty for lying, Ned, so they'll just make up a story. Yeah, but it was a holiday.
yeah, today was a holiday.
Well, I thought it was going to be all about the registry of deeds, and Karen, you brought some great stuff up today for me anyways. It's about homelessness right now, and it's
Right.
about the South Common right now, and it's about the people bothering you and other people knocking on their windows,
That's right.
looking for things around the courthouse and Appleton Street and Middlesex Street. It's a big issue. I wouldn't want to be in charge.
Oh, I
but
wouldn't either.
I want to try to help them out as much as I can.
So look, I'm gonna do these announcements real quick. Okay, tomorrow's City Life, we're gonna have Linda Bound, and the town manager from Tewksbury, he's coming, Colin Loisel. Paul Belay's coming, and State Rep Rodney Elliott, that's tomorrow. City Life, we got, if you want an announcement on this show, really easy thing to do, send me a text, that's my cell phone number. Call me up, and we'll get your announcement on the show. If you're hungry later on today, and you're over 60, we don't care if you live in Timbuktu, Lowell Senior Center serves lunch 7 days a week. So today is the 12th. So today, if you go over there around 10:30, walk up to the front desk, a nice gal by the name of Tara sitting there usually. Give her your $2. If you don't have the $2, we'll let you eat for free. And today you're gonna have teriyaki chicken with noodles. That's today. That's the whole, this one looks stuffed cabbage.
There's a
with-
click down there.
This
That's
looks
the problem.
really good. So, moving right along, Paul Beloy's gonna come in tomorrow and talk about this a little bit. He's having a fundraiser at the boat, out in Delightful Drink at 294 Kingsborough Road, and gonna have a fundraiser there for the Salvation Army on Sunday, November 17th at 2 p.m. Paul Beloy, good guy.
Aerosmith.
Lowell Police, they are collecting food. So when you go to the supermarket, you pick up some soup or some coffee, whatever you want, the list is right down the bottom here. Just pick up one extra item, maybe 2 extra items, bring it down to the police station, go in the front door down there, and there's a drop-off box just inside the doorway. It'd be nice if you did that. And they're collecting food for the, I think it's the Lowell Food Bank. So 50 Yarcan Drive, just bring your food down there. I'd love to have you do that. This guy here, Father Conway, he's the pastor over to, no, sorry, Father Clancy, brain cramp there. Father Clancy's he's the pastor over to St. Rita's Church, but he's going to have a Eucharistic procession around the streets of Lowell. Pretty cool. Coming up the end of the month, November 24th, and it's going to walk through much of the city. There's a little map down the bottom here, and courageous guy to do this, and I hope he gets a lot of attendance that day. So God bless him. Moving right along, St. Vartanant's out in charming Chelmsford, they have a book club. And parishioners and friends of St. Vartanant's are welcome to join the church's book club, where you can enjoy warm fellowship, engage in lively discussion over a monthly book selection. Contact Isabel Hamill for further information. That's her email address.
I love
And
Isabel.
beginning December 1st, sorry that Mr. Bomil had to skedaddle a little early today. Meant to ask him about this. Free bus rides. You see the LRTA bus? The ride's on them. It's free starting December 1st. So looking forward to that. So
Till September 30th.
Wow.
25. The whole, yeah, the LRT must have got a grant. That's the last of our discussion. Thank you. My announcements. Back to you, Ned. Thank you.
All right. What was I going to ask you? Oh, before I I got to let the people know that Charlie Early is my uncle. He's dead now. He's Eddie Early's brother,
Okay.
and he was married to my father's. They were married, my father's sister. And I've known Charlie and Eddie forever and ever and ever. You know, they're both dead now. Eddie just died at 92. You know.
I
Now,
love Eddie.
Billy Early, that the same family?
Yep,
Billy,
Billy.
his son.
Yeah.
I used
He
him
was
for,
there.
I used
Yeah.
Billy for my house when we
He's great.
closed.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a real good lawyer. But,
Yeah. He's a lot of fun.
but the one the garage is named after, that was my dad's pal.
Eddie, yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie,
my
yeah.
father was.
He was an amazing boss. He really was. He always would, he wasn't in the office all the time. He really let the assistant stay there. Then the head executive kind of ran the payroll and the attendance. But Ed would come up and he'd go through the offices, come in, talk to us, and, always praise and tell us what a great job we're doing. He appreciates us, and just really, he was a great guy. There was no one
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, he's a
as
good
a
guy.
boss.
I come way back to when one of the Finnegans was there. Freddie Finnegan,
Yeah.
was it Freddie? Oh, I forget which one.
Yeah,
He
it was
there.
Fred, yep.
Yeah,
Fred
there
Finnegan,
forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lived right next to Finnegan's
Is it-
Barroom. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You do?
I know.
No, that was on the corner of Swift Street. I used to shine shoes in there and make a lot of money.
I remember Finnegan's. Used to be an after-hours bar for all the cops.
They always had a white shirt, like Sabres. Sabres calf, nice shirt,
Yeah.
tie, great
Oh, yeah.
food.
Yeah. I
Uh,
shouldn't say that because I don't know that.
Oh, no, just Sabres was my favorite, one of my
We're running
favorite
out of time,
places.
so great show today.
Yeah,
Comment
thanks.
from the audience. Patty Kerwin-Kelty asked me, John, are the homeless people over 60 taking advantage of lunch at the senior center? And I have no idea. Don't know. When I walk
Some
there
do,
and
some
have
do.
lunch, anybody who can make their way in there that's over 60, you can have free lunch if you want. Say goodbye, kids, because you got 10
It's
seconds.
8 o'clock already.
Have a
my
great
friends,
day,
yeah.
everyone.
Have a good one.
Yes.
And congratulations and thanks for coming
All
on the
right.
show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations, Karen.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
I'm
much,
See you
Sean.
tomorrow. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching.